What's up, everybody? It is Garvis and Mason from White Maze, and this is Indie Exposure number 5. This week's Indie Exposure game is one called Aurelia, which it's a bit of a different game in a way. Now, Mace, have you bothered to sit down and play any of this yet?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, basically, as it goes, as it is, you play as an angel from heaven. I know it's anyway. But you're sent down to go kill this evil wizard guy who is causing a whole bunch of problems down on Earth. And the only things you're armed with, you've got a sword, you've got magic, and you've got one life. Which you'd think if you're playing a game like this, you'd have more lives and more chances, but you don't. Now, Mace, you and I tried to do this on the first run of Indie Exposure at one point, and all that footage is now since lost. So they'll never see exactly what happened. But anyway, because
was there any kind of funny moments like what happened? With you
you mean where I was on a spike trap and it glitched me to a point where it shot me all the way to the end of it?
Yes.
I wish. But no, unfortunately not this time around. However, remember that stage that was real trippy looking? The red one?
Yes.
I finally actually got past it.
Actually on this?
Yeah, it's on this.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't last very long because after you've played through a certain one, they throw new enemies at you.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It keeps
but
entertained.
Yeah. But no, I mean it's kind of like a platformer in a way, I guess you could say. Maybe maybe say Mega Man or something. Because Mega Man, you jump from platform to platform, and or you can jump from platform to platform, and you've got a weapon. But here you've got your sword, you've got your magic. It's I don't even know where to begin with this one. It is a bit challenging because as I said, you've only got one life, and if you die, you have to go back to the beginning of the game entirely, which I have no problems with. I mean, if it's a good game, I don't mind playing it from the beginning again. But what sucks is when you make all that progress and then one slip up, you die. It's all lost. There's no checkpoints. There's no nothing in order to save your progress anywhere. So it's it can be a bit frustrating, especially when you got enemies that shoot things at you and they knock you back, or if or if when you hit the jump button, it doesn't, and you got to double jump, and it doesn't double jump you. I've had that happen before. I've had it do a delayed double jump reaction, which is terrible.
You seem like you're having a lot of issues here.
Yeah. I think in one run through, I fell down because that thing hit me, and it wouldn't let me complete the jump. And it just knocked me off. But no, one of my favorite things is you get up to the top of the stage, and you think you're going to get out of there, and there's a guy blocking the way by the name of Herzog. And when you talk to him, he tells you he's hungry, and you've got to go get him food. And one of the things I liked doing was turning around and smacking him. And I just imagine him having this, having the face. Why you hit Herzog? Are you stupid, bird lady? I did not realize there were coins in the back of that fairy house either.
Really? Did not?
I didn't notice that the first time around. Because all you see is that.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway,
because you didn't jump straight down. You
right.
went the long ass way.
Yeah. Well, it's because you pointed out, hey, there's coins that go down. Maybe you're supposed to go down that.
Exactly. I was about to point out the same coins that they just talked about right there.
Yeah. But anyway, so, but I mean, I enjoy it. If it weren't for the fact that I've got I keep every so often I'll buy a new game. I would go back and play this one, but I've got other indie games I would much rather play, and they will actually turn up in the in this run of Indie Exposure. So, I mean that's generally it. But yeah, and the funny thing is, on the first run of Indie Exposure when we actually had everything. We had, Chris, buddy of ours, helping us, back before, White Maze existed. And,
Grim, what a guy.
yeah. So, we had that, and, we had a few with him, but once again, all that footage is lost, so... everything from here on is,
drop!
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But anyway, that's the delayed, double jump that I kept running into. But anyway, so all the previous footage is lost and will never be seen again, unfortunately. Yeah, now, if I did hard drive recovery, I might be able to, get it back, but I really like the poker log one more time. But, I'm not too terribly worried about it. I mean, we've made it this far. So, no sense in, trying to, rescue things from the past that weren't as good as what we're doing. So
this kind of reminds me of Altered Beast. It really
does. In a way, it does kind of. Now that you mention that,
it's so much like Altered Beast.
Yeah.
Except for you don't have Altered Beast. Thanks.
Yeah. You don't have beast powers or anything, and
need to play that game again.
Yeah. Well, we could play a multiplayer game of it because it's on the Xbox out here.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, that does actually.
That's a great idea.
Now this game, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, it's a good game. Okay, it's a good, fun game to play. But the only downside to it is, you don't have lives or continues or anything like that. When you die, it's over.
That's no fun.
Yeah. But, you know what? There are people out there that like games like that. And, you know what? I am all for the indie game scene. That's why I'm doing this in the first place, is because, I like indie games. And I like playing indie games as long as they're good. You get some real stinkers out there.
Well, because indie games, a lot of them, they look based on, like, your childhood.
Yeah.
For us that grew up in the Sega Nintendo age.
Yeah. Or, you get them where, like, you look at the art on them, it's like, this looks like it could be a good game, and it's a piece of shit. Yeah. I ran into that with another indie game I bought. I thought it was the first ever indie game, but I take it back. The first indie game I ever bought was the Impossible game, which, I don't know, should we do that in...
Yes.
Okay.
We're definitely doing that.
Okay, then I've got a panel one that I want to do, too. A panel flipping game. That, the way they, build that game was, after you had beat the game, you could interact with the, more or less, with the pictures in the back. But, that's not this game, so...
Okay, that's like making just tripping me out bad.
Yeah, remember, it did the same thing to me, and...
Oh my god.
Trying to play it, I had to just keep moving because... and I had to hope I didn't have to go up much.
I forgot how trippy this stage actually is.
Well, trust me, this is nothing compared to an entire game that is in our, lineup this time. Yeah, oh, that's where I got screwed over. Yep.
Good job, Robert. I think you just maybe almost killed yourself.
You just about. But... Anyway, the other thing I didn't like about this game was if you cleared the enemies out of an area and you left that area, it respawned the enemies, which was troublesome because when you clear an area, you want to be able to walk through it unobstructed, not with, monsters just, oh, hey, well, you killed me a minute ago and now I'm back. It's like I didn't die. And
I did die. This is just my brother. Or my twin sister.
Oh, it's my uncle. I know that. I'm sorry, I'm borrowing from someone else on that one. But no, this was actually the end of that stage where everything was trippy, and it was still. I mean, once you got past that, everything was pretty well stationary in the next one. But I ate shit on the next stage.
Nice.
Yeah, because I got up to a certain point and just, I felt like I got screwed out of out of victories or out of the whole stage. But
Right.
what can you do, right?
I think you got this far the first time too, because I remember that.
I might have.
I remember that screen being cracked.
Yeah, I might have. But either way, I mean, I remember that super trippy, stuff. This right here wasn't quite as bad. You didn't get to see this stage, and this was the first time I'd ever gotten to play it, so.
Yeah,
But
because we had stopped right there at the crack.
yeah, because I was afraid I was going to go back in, to that super trippy crap, and
This is a little better. But
yeah. Well, it's sad. Those crystals, I thought they were a piece of the geometry of the world, and they're not.
just like the skulls.
Well, yeah, because there's another game where the stuff in the background you think is part of the geometry of the world, and it is not by any stretch a piece of the world. And Mace, you know exactly which game I'm talking about.
Yes.
That, oh god. Sad thing is, we're going to have an epilepsy warning at the start of that one, because that one even gave me problems. And I don't suffer from seizures or epilepsy.
I don't either, but I do have.
Yeah, I know it did give you some seriously bad headaches.
Yeah, that's my issues.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this game still though was a ton of fun.
Can't make a jump.
Nah. Well, the buttons were acting out, so.
Which it's also the same thing with a lot of the indie games. There's
Yeah, sometimes sometimes when you hit the buttons, the game doesn't react quite like you'd want it to, and that's where I ate shit. So, yep, game over. But that was Aurelia, and that'll do it for this week's episode of Indie Exposure. Remember, you can always check us out at whitemaze.net for everything we're working on, and you can also check out our podcast, the White Maze Podcast. We're on iTunes, and that'll do it for this week, and we'll see you next week.
later.